Hello, everybody. Prof Sales here with
me, Karin.
How you guys doing? We are here for another edition of the Daily Prof-It, where we talk to you about all things reselling related and have a good time for about an hour or so and just chat and, hang out, have some good community, some good fun, and maybe learn something from one another, right?
Right.
How are you doing today?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Good. I'm great. She's like, so can I be on the show today? And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of a standing invitation. So yeah, of course you can. So anyway, here we both are. So how's everybody doing out there? We'll see who we got in the room. Looks like we've already got that. Oh, we got the chat box right here. No, let's just look at it right here. Be better. We toy between whether the chat box on the iPad or having it, on the Mac. So I don't know. I guess it's about the same either way. So a couple people in the house will shout out already. Fun stuff is here, listings. So don't scare me when you go live all of a sudden.
We were trying to be very, very quiet.
Yes, at least one of us was. I just talked normal because I'd forgot all about it. I was like, oh, okay.
And what people don't really know is that you have this giganto microphone ball here that he's constantly telling me to speak into.
Yes.
So there's that.
Because she keeps looking at me and I'm like, the microphone's there.
I think that would be a little awkward, Prof, if I just went like this the whole time. Don't you agree?
It might be awkward, but people could hear you.
Well, that's assuming they want to hear what I have to say.
Well, I do. So anyway. So yeah, so here we are it is Friday. Let's see, we got the chat room up over here. It is Friday, October 21st. We're 2/3 of the way through the month. And how are you guys doing on your goals? This is a good time to take stock, right? We got 2 weekends left. We got this weekend and next. And where are you at? Are you making it? Are you ahead? Are you behind? And if you are not where you want to be, what are you doing to improve? So if you guys share that in the chat room, that would be cool. Anything that you're doing or not doing differently this month would be awesome to hear. I'm sure everybody would like to know without telling all your trade secrets. So let's call a couple people out who are in the room and shout out. Fun stuff is here, of course. Swamp Picker.
Hey, Swamp. Hola, Marcos.
Crafty Caregiver.
Hi, Crafty.
Karen's here.
I'm here. Well, that's easy. Minnesota Vegan Girl came again. She's new, I believe.
Yeah, I think she's been here before, but pretty new. Yvonne's here. Hey, Yvonne, how are you? Brad. Terry Cook.
Apple bottom jeans. I gotta keep my people happy. I love her.
Susanna is here. Hey, Susanna.
Hey, Susanna. No, I won't sing you that song.
And Jen C, as well as Burning Bananas. I like that name, Burning Bananas.
We like bananas.
We have a friend who cooks. Maybe you should tell the story.
So we went there for dinner once, and she's sweet, sweet girl. And over the course of conversation, her husband, who is not as sweet as she is, proceeded to tell us that on occasion she'll talk to her food as she preps it, sort of an ode and thanks to making itself available for the meal. And that particular night she was making, I don't even remember, whatever it was delicious, I'm certain, but it involved bananas. And he's in his office and she's downstairs in the kitchen, and she cut up the bananas and she said, "Thanks, bananas," and put them in the pot, went on about her night. And so we were talking about that, and whatever it is about "thanks, bananas," it's stuck with us. So
yes,
we say it all the time. We even say thanks to all sorts of inanimate objects just for the sake of.
It's become a catchphrase.
Yeah, I believe it is a catchphrase, indeed.
So, when something good happens, just say "thanks, bananas," and you'll be able to join in with the fun. We're starting a movement, the Thanks Bananas movement. But anyway, Burning Bananas, how you doing? Michelle from Columbus, Ohio. What's up, Michelle from Ohio? Crafty already asked, watch the video, did you buy the apple bottoms?
They were, that particular pair, Crafty, yes, we bought them, but they're a little too small, and I'm vertically challenged. I'm only about 5'5", 5'4", if you go by what the doctor tells you, but who does that anymore? So they're a little long and a little small for me, but we did buy that pair specifically for Mark. Wasn't that who I said was the point that we bought those for? Because they are the older style with the apple on the bottom. But I kid you not, there's just something about them. I look for them. We will buy them when we see them in the future. And heaven help us if I find one that is short and my size, because I will sport them. I will wear them to church. I will wear them to the grocery. I will wear them to take my high school child to his rugby practice. I have no shame. I love them. There you go. Thanks, bananas. Burning bananas.
So from now on, we'll just call the show Thanks Bananas, and everybody will know. Quick question came in already from Susanna, who says, I found some Robin skinny jeans. Not sure how to price them. Think I'll go with $65. Any thoughts?
Susanna, I have a really, really burning question for you, though, about those Robins, because I found my first pair as well. And I'm on the fence whether or not they're real. So I'm not putting them out there into the universe yet until I can make some comparisons. The research that I've done so far speaks of symmetry, which they all do. The thread should be the same color as the denim as to blend in well. It's going to be a higher quality stitching. Sometimes, not always, there'll be a stamp on the inside.
Right.
We're still kind of going back and forth with that one. And then there was something else. I can't remember. But what about price-wise? You can maybe speak to that, because we've only ever sold, I think, another pair.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the market completely on Robins because we just don't find them that often. I would think your price is probably about right.
Yeah.
The $65 is they're skinny jeans, which are going to be highly desirable, but verify them first, Susanna. You don't want a Vero complaint. You don't want somebody saying they're not legit. Anyway, so authenticforum.com is a good place you can go to. You can take a photo of those people there. We'll give you their opinion. And at least you got something to go on.
And I can go, I did say I would show them. So when you go to do the spreadsheet, I'll go get them.
Okay. And
then we can all take a look at them.
Yeah.
And Lauren, that's great that you're a member of the green room as well.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Eddie Willis says hello. Fun says maybe you should find an apple bottom capri. The length won't be an issue.
Is that, who said that?
Fun stuff.
Oh, maybe. That makes me feel really, really short.
Yeah, I know, right? And then they won't look as good with the boots with the fur.
No, and the whole joke about that is I omit the boots part. My apple bottom jeans have fur.
Misheard song lyrics.
On purpose.
Swamp sent me a question. Glenn sent me a question earlier today about RMC jeans, which I believe is a Korean brand, if I'm not mistaken. Korean or Japanese, I can't remember off the top of my head. But and he asked me about pricing them and whatever, or authenticating. And I told him Authentic Forum is a good place to go as far. But that's the one pair of jeans, that brand, I got a Vero complaint on once on eBay, pretty long time ago. But I got a Vero complaint on those saying they weren't legit. So I took them down. And they said it came from the manufacturer, Japan. Yeah, Swamp says Japan. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it's Japan or Korea for some reason. But I just, anytime, guys, you get these niche brands like this, just be sure of what you have. It's just product knowledge. And I know it's annoying to have to go on and, authenticate a pair of jeans. But you don't really want that Vero complaint. You don't want somebody saying you're selling counterfeit items. You don't want somebody saying that they're, that you're not a legit seller. So just take the time to do that. I would always do that with a brand new brand like that sells for good money too. So anyway.
Can you, I'm sorry to change your subject a little bit, but have you noticed all the support for the vertically challenged in the chat room today?
I do notice that.
And I hail from a now 4'11" mother, right?
Yeah.
She has sworn that she's 5 feet her whole life, but she's just a little thing too. Okay, back to Paul wants to know if Lucky and 7 jeans are good to sell.
Yes, they are. Well, I'm assuming, are you meaning 7 jeans or 7 for All Mankind? Those are 2 different jeans, 2 different companies, which I would say yes to all 3. How much would you be willing to pay for Miss Mean jeans? I'm a person that works with me on huge lots, so I know what I should try to stay at. Well, it kind of depends on which ones they are, James. I mean, some of the lower end Miss Me's are not going to sell for tremendous money. So for those, I wouldn't want to pay more than $5 or $6. If they're a little bit of the higher end ones, you might go as high as 10. I wouldn't go much over 10 though, because you're not going to sell all of them right away. You're going to top your money for a little bit. And, you know, they should sell. You should sell probably all of them. So I wouldn't worry about that. But you make money, guys, when you buy, not when you sell. So McCrae says, took a flyer on a pair of Ints. I don't know if it's Ints or Inse, by the way. Someone can maybe clarify that. The Sean Combs size 46 shorts, first jeans, any good? Yeah, I've had a little luck with them. That's a great size. You might sit on them a little while, McCrae, but I think you should sell them. So I think that's a good buy. I don't know what you bought them, paid for them. Found Q Baby by Wrangler. Should I buy them?
Isn't that the kind that I just got? That one with the weird stitching on the inside?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Actually, Paul, I'm not as familiar with those, but I would definitely look those up and just check the solds and completeds ratio on eBay and what they're selling for.
We don't do a lot of Wrangler.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of Wrangler, to be honest, only the larger sizes.
Although we did just find one that might have been one of those. It had some sort of weird stitching.
Yeah.
It looks sort of vintage, actually. Hey, Mark, we were just talking about you and my new apple bottom jeans. If they fit me, I'd be modeling them as we speak, but they were bought in honor of you. Apples on the bottom and everything.
Yeah. Inichi. All right, so Pittsburgh Mike's got a pronunciation for it. Inichi. You know, I'm not a pronunciation king here, so hey, grammar was not my strong suit, that's for sure.
Well, and you know,
but Mike has clarified it.
Well, and you know, we'll make it up. Like
Inichi.
We'll call it Coogies when
they're Coogee. Yeah.
Whatever. We'll call it, whatever.
Yeah. So, and Eddie says he bought a Gaylord full of average jeans, women's and juniors, Gap, American Eagle, all lower end, have 3 cents per pair. Question, should price around $9.97 plus shipping or lower price? I would just try to get rid of them as quick as possible. So, because, you know, you don't have a lot in them, but you got a lot of them. It sounds like it's a Gaylord. That's got to be, you know, a few hundred, right? I'm guessing. So I would try to get rid of them, price them low, honestly, unless there's something special in there. I wouldn't take too much time on them just because of, it sounds like you have some lower end brands. So they're not going to go for a lot. You know, $10 plus, I think $10 plus shipping. I think you'd probably get it. So you'll make good profit on each one of those. Anyway. Let's see who else is in here. A lot of people, 38 viewers. Thanks for that, guys.
Southern Picker asked if $2.99 was a good price for
sure.
Levi's and American Eagle.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Of course.
That was easy. I could answer it.
So, Karin, we have 40 people viewing the show right now.
That's because I'm here today. No.
That's because she's here. But what would you hope that they would do, those 40 people?
Well, we're so glad that you decided to join us and take time out of your very busy day today. But please make a point while you're here, or if you're happening to be watching this video later, don't forget to smash that like button. Smash it, as Steve Rakin would say. Is that what you wanted me to say?
I do. That was perfect. Lots of questions here today. When you measure the waist inseam and it differs from the tag, do you list the tag size or the actual size in the title, Hunlum? I list the actual size. Absolutely. And you can make a note that says, the tag says this, but here's the actual measurements. Because people are going to go by what's ever in that title. So I would absolutely list it in the title as the correct size. I don't care what the tag says. Tags can be wrong. Sometimes they can be way off. So list it. And I said that happened to me today. I mistitled a pair of American Eagles as a 8 when in fact they were a 6. So, and it was my fault. And the tag said 6, but they did measure with a 31-inch waist, which is pretty close to an 8. You know, you could even argue a 10 in some jeans that would be. So I just sent the buyer a message and said, look, you know, these are actually a size 6, but the waist is 31. So, but if they don't fit, please send them back. I will refund all your money, including the shipping. So, you know, it happens, guys. I mean, you're going to make mistakes. I just misread it. The tag, the number was a little blurry on these, the way it was written, and I just got in a hurry probably and just put an 8 instead of 6. But in reality, they were closer to an 8, so I don't know. And you could list the measurements in inches too. Mark, I think, was saying that, and that's a great point. If you measure it in inches, then you're always safe. But not everybody knows their waist size that way or thinks about it that way. So, but they know they wear a 12, whatever you decide to do, though, whatever the jeans actually are is what you want to list. And if there's any difference from what's listed on the jeans, just make a note of it in description. Let's see.
Congrats. Congratulations.
Yeah, somebody just got TRS. Nice. Awesome. Whoever that was.
That's top rated seller, right?
Yes. Yes. I'm struggling with the term if I should, but I'm not sure how to grade condition. That's an easy question, Paul Rhodes. How do we grade our condition? What do we say?
I don't know. You do it more than me. I don't remember. Somewhere on cuffs. Is that, well, it's used.
Right.
It's always used.
It's pre-owned. You stay non-committal.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a hole, you say hole near the crotch, hole near the back pocket, hole. If there's wear, you say wear on the knee, wear on the cuffs.
Somewhere on cuffs. And we have the picture of the cuffs, so we purposefully leave it up to the buyer to decide if it's too much or not.
Yeah, because what I think is a lot or little is going to be different than what you think. So why not just say, hey, there's wear here, I'm pointing it out, you can take a look and make a decision. So I think that's always the way to do it, in my opinion. It just is best practice, keeps you out of trouble. Because when you put descriptive words in there like good or excellent or bad or fair, I mean, you can put those, but they don't really mean too much. So it's better just to point something out and not really talk about it one way or another about how bad or good it is.
Mm-hmm.
And because I used to do that, I used to put like small hole, and I went, what's a small hole to me? Might not be a small hole to buyer. So I just put hole. There's a hole in the back, near the back corner, the corner of the back pocket. See the photo for condition. There you go. Let's see what else we got. Lots of questions in here today. Man,
yes,
people are
awesome.
killing it. All these questions. And lots of likes too, up to 20. Nice. Thank you, guys.
Oh, sweet pea. That's so cute. I can't even pass up a pair of apple bottoms myself without starting to sing the song. And I have the curse that anything you say to me and it has a song lyric somewhere, I will probably put it to music.
Right.
That happened yesterday.
With or without the correct lyrics.
Yeah, pretty much. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It keeps it fun.
Hunlam says, I remember hearing you say you don't offer free shipping anymore. Do you mind explaining that again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's really simple. The reason is because when people send the item back, you end up eating the shipping cost. And you're going to get 3, 4, maybe even 5% returns. That adds up. And the shipping, plus you can offer a lower price for the jeans on the front end. There's some psychology there. Free shipping affects some people, but so does a lower priced item with a nominal shipping charge that I know I'm not going to lose any money on. So I just do flat shipping of $6.50 basically, which covers the padded flat rate to anywhere in the United States. And then I can offer a lower price for the actual item, which I think draws some people in because a lot of jeans on eBay sell for around $20 or less. So it lets me stay down there.
And then that's true for the shipping. Right.
Yeah, when you run when you run a sale, the sale price takes off shipping when offering free shipping. Yeah. I mean, there's some things about sales there too. Can you explain what is that question? Can you explain what is irregular?
Remember when they're irregular?
Yeah, it just means there was something that went wrong in the manufacturing process. And it means different things to different manufacturers. It could be that the wash didn't come out quite the way they thought it was going to, or the patterns. It could be the stitching's a little off somewhere. It could be the sizing is off. Usually it's not a huge problem, but if when in doubt, try to figure out what it is. Make sure you can point it out, or at least point out, hey, these jeans are irregular, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer, just so you know. And you might get a question like, well, what's irregular about them? It's like, well, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's this. But you just got to be a little bit of a detective if you're going to sell irregular. I try not to sell too many of them. I think I've got maybe one listed right now.
Yeah, we've only ever seen a couple, and
Yeah.
we will point it out. Eric asked, what if one leg was longer than the other? Do you still sell?
Then you would need a person with a shorter leg.
Like shoes where you're just entertaining yourself. So it's not like shoes where, you know, you can have one foot bigger than the other. No, we would not sell those if one leg was longer than the other. I mean, the extent of extra work that we'll do on a pair of pants when we get them is if there's a stain that I can get out, I'll get it out. We typically don't wash them.
No.
We definitely do not iron them. And if there's a hem that's come out, like sometimes I'll take out a hem if it's like a quick hem and an easy one to take out and it doesn't affect the quality of the jeans. I might go as far as to do that. But no, definitely not going to sell a pair of pants where one leg is longer than the other, because that customer is only probably one in a bazillion. Smarty pants.
Right. And they got to want that pair and that fit and that color and all these things. So, yeah, so all those issues. Lots of good questions today.
That's a good one. That one we talk about all the time.
Yeah, let's see. Is there a quick way to tell if a pair of jeans is men's or women's? There are some ways. Do you want to cover the ways?
I can try. The biggie is that the pockets are deeper for a man's pair of jeans.
The front pockets?
The front pockets, you can put your hands all the way down in there. And that's the one I look for. The sizes, I mean, that's sometimes though certain brands will size, but usually a woman's size is even numbers. Although Vegas, I know that's not how you say it, but Vegas jeans will have weird odd number sizes. Buckle, BKE, they do weird numbers as well.
They kind of weird sizes too, yeah.
But typically a man size will be like a number like 32 by 30, woman 8, 10, 12, etc.
Right. And usually women's have stretch and most men's do not.
That's correct.
But not always.
Yeah, 100% cotton, or if it has a little bit of spandex or elastex or something X.
Yeah. The the back pockets are also smaller on women's than they are on men's. They don't stretch as far across. And sometimes the actual fit. And worst case, you can always, or best case, you can always go to the manufacturer's website and look up the fit type. And more times than not, it's going to be, women's are going to have different fits than the men's. Not always. Sometimes you can't tell. That doesn't help. If it says boot cut, could be either one, for instance. But a lot of times, they'll, depending on the manufacturer, they'll have certain women's fits and they'll have certain men's fits. And, that's a way to tell as well. So all those ways. Worst case, just, Yeah,
you used to be able to tell if they were pretty or not, but you can't. I think some men's pants are pretty now too. So you can't go by the pocket embellishments either. We had that one pair with all the pretty stitching on the back pocket, and it was totally a man's pair of jeans. True story. Yeah,
you never know. Let's see. Some other questions are here too. Wow, guys, 53 people watching. What in the world is going on? This show is crazy. We're taking over the internet.
It's Friday. There's
no glitches here. I don't care about Reddit going down and Twitter going down. Did you hear that? It was a big denial of service attack. Some of the websites are offline.
Was it
Twitter and Reddit, and there was one other one.
Was it the Russians?
I don't know. I don't know who it was. I think it was just hackers. Is there a price difference between men and women's jeans? I'm selling by the pounds. I'm still having issues. Fayem Press says, yeah, for sure. I mean, men's tend to sell a little higher, all things being equal. They're probably, and that's probably just scarcity. There's just not as many of them you're going to find out in the wild, nor there's many on eBay. So I think that's the reason they sell higher. That just, I mean, you're going to find so many more women's though. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to go get men's only. I mean, you're not just going to find as many. It's just going to be tougher, but I guess you could run your business that way. Just, I don't know. Let's see here. Show Steve how it's done. Always the Russians. This is great. Great. Now we're going to get all political. Awesome.
Hey, Mark. No, we don't. We'll go somewhere else. If you're still here, good luck at the bins. Tell us how you do next week.
Yes. And, guys, I put a topic on this show today, and I wanted to just throw it out there. And I know it's a little clickbaity, so sue me. But It's a great question. Karn and I are obviously working together. We're a team, and there's a lot of advantages to working as a team. But I wanted to kind of get some feedback on what do you guys think is possible on, say, a monthly basis for one person to earn on eBay. Now, this is assuming they can work full-time, whatever full-time means. We'll say, 40 hours-ish. And they've got enough sourcing budget. They can go out and source. What do you think you can really make? What do you think you can make as a clothing reseller? How about as, primarily picking and thrifting from yard sales and estate sales and garage sales? I mean, what do you guys think is an upper limit? And it comes, and obviously depends on what you source, but that's kind of wrapped up in the question. What would you choose? If you really wanted to maximize your earnings, because I think it's an interesting question. It comes up the reseller community a lot. What would you choose and why? And how would you go about it? Because, obviously if you can buy $100 items and flip them for 200, that's a good profit. But you got to have a lot of capital to buy $100 items. You buy 10 of them, it's $1,000. So I'm just kind of curious what you guys think on it. I don't know that I really have an answer to it. But if someone new was coming in and said, hey, I'm thinking about starting reselling on eBay, but I need to make X number of dollars, and maybe X is a good size number, then the question becomes, well, would you tell them don't try it? Or would you say, go ahead? Or what would you tell them to do? Because I get asked this question a lot, or a question similar to it. It's like, well, how much can I make? What should I do with this amount? What should I do there? And everybody's got a different model. Like I saw Nicole was in here earlier. I don't know if she's still here, but she has a quick flip model where she's burning and turning through a lot of items very quickly in the course of a day and a week. I'm a little bit slower than that, but I'm certainly not someone who's holding on to too many items. I like to flip jeans fairly fast because I'm trying to get up to a certain listing total and do volume. Chad is a quick flipper. Ronnie Hart is more long tail items like suits and ties in some cases and some dress shirts and so on that he might sit on for 3 to 6 months. So it's kind of an interesting question, I think. But obviously if you can get in, I'm not talking about going in and private label or doing all this wholesaling and so on. You certainly could do that on eBay. I'm just saying if you're going out and finding items on a weekly basis. So lots of people coming in with opinions on this.
And it looks like a lot of the part-timers are pretty close to numbers, because we have a friend, and you can talk to the specifics, but we have a friend, a single mom friend, who does about $1,200 a month, and that's actually her goal, and she does it all by herself. And her primary sources are yard sales, church sales, some estate sales, and Goodwill.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna kind of cover a couple of these that people are saying, because people are gonna watch this video later and they'll kind of have an idea from this conversation. Eric says he works on a part-time scale and makes about $800 a month. But he does a lot of big items. So, and he's thinking about scaling up. JSO Lorio, $1,500 a month part-time. That seems pretty reasonable, right? About $375 a month or a week. Mm-hmm. 10K a month. King Flip says if you're really good thrifting, but if it's any kind of resale, sky's the limit. So, and that brings into question, like, should you go after the thrifting model? What does that look like? 10K is obviously a pretty good number. I think you're pretty limited. Susanna says, I can only list about 7 items a day, pack and ship and source, and still prepare my meals and tend to my cat. Nice. But Susanna brings up a great point and says, can make around $500 a week if they know how to source well. Susanna brings up a great point. It's not just selling, guys. It's not just sourcing. It's the photos. It's the listing. It's the packing, the shipping, dealing with customer questions. It's ordering supplies. It's the accounting. It's the doing the behind the scenes stuff, the taxes. All these things take time too, right?
Well, and we talk a lot about the other stuff, life. I have a teenage boy that is in high school and plays a sport and has recently joined every after school club imaginable. We have our relationship. So you have all of that. Some of you, Lauren works a job, and she said that she's got a place right near her job where she can go source in the middle of the day. That's right. Awesome. What a great opportunity. But you have all of that. You have real jobs, or those of you that are full-time don't, and that's all you do. But then you have the balance of everything else. And I think it's something we talk about all the time. And I think that's also critical.
Right. Paul Rhodes says, or Crafty says, someone told me for each dollar have one item. So if you want to make 1,000 a month, then list 1,000 items with a net profit of $10 or more. Paul Rhodes says 4,000 to 5,000. Brent says 2K a month is good for me. Minnesota Vegan Girl, I'm doing 500 to 2,000 a month part-time.
That's awesome.
King says he's doing part-time about 5,000 to 8,000. Spiky says many feel they have to go full-time to be successful. Twisted Picker is around 8K a month part-time with full-time hours.
I love that name, Twisted Picker, by the way.
Let's see if there's any more. Eric would need to net 4K a month.
Well, and success is relative. Success to one person is, might not be to another. So, you set your limit, or your sky's the limit, and that's what you shoot for. Right.
Louis got a hypothetical question here.
I love it.
If someone approached you and offered you about 50 profitable jeans for free, but told you the owner of the jeans died tragically, would you take the jeans to sell them?
Sure. Well, what's the catch?
I've probably sold jeans from someone who died tragically. Chances are at this point, however you define tragically, I just didn't know it. The only difference here is you know it. I don't know. I don't think it really changes anything for it.
Are they haunted? Are they spooky? It is October. Come on, people.
Yeah. And Crafty's a great point. I sold all my husband's stuff as he passed away. Yeah. So it's a numbers game. List 10 items a day for a year is about 3K. Sell 10% of that is 3K at $10 profit. Yep, that's true. I like the slow dime. I have to keep coming in on here because the pest guy is here. I assume you mean in your home, silent, not here, unless you're talking about someone specifically here as a pest.
Oh, Chaosification.
Yes.
Another great name.
So it's an interesting question, guys. And I'm not sure how much you can make on eBay in a month. I like to use a month because I pay bills monthly, so I just like to think of things that way. But Rockstar Flipper was on the show a couple nights ago, and here's a guy making like $250,000 a year. So mathematically, that's over. He's averaging. Now he's not doing all that on eBay, but he's doing about 70% of it. So he's averaging over 20 grand a month between his businesses. So at least 14K on eBay. And he's he's selling a lot of clothing, guys, on eBay. That's mainly what he sells. So there are some big numbers you can pull. He does have some help, obviously. I think you do run into a scalability issue pretty quickly with eBay. Mm-hmm. We're starting to hit some of that even, and just like the grind of it and keeping our sanity. And we're certainly nowhere near that big yet, but it's a real challenge. But if you've got a goal for this business, you need to think about, if I need to make $2,000 a month on eBay, all right, well, how much do I need to sell to do that? Let's assume that's what you need to net. So you got to look at, well, how much do I need to sell to get that? And then you got to start thinking about, well, if my average item is selling for X number of dollars, divide that into how much I need to sell, and that's how many I got to sell a month. Well, if I got to sell that many a month, how many do I need to have listed? And so you can think about all those ways and kind of come up with a number, a set of numbers. And I think that's really the best way to do it. And that number is different for everybody. Some people just want to make $100 a month. Nothing wrong with that. Some people want to make 10,000. Nothing wrong with that. There's no right or wrong answer. But I think up to a certain level, you can scale an eBay business to pretty large. I don't know. I mean, I can see us scaling this jeans business to a couple $100,000 a year. Mm-hmm. Actually, it'll be more than that when I think about it. It'll be more like, I don't know. I mean, our problem is going to be sourcing eventually. We can hire somebody to do listing and photos, but it's just finding sourcing.
And our biggest problem, we talk about all the time, is becoming our own bottleneck. So there's that. And we've decided that we could probably get to about 1.5 times bigger than we are now. So probably about half of your goal. We could probably get to 2,500 jeans, just the two of us.
Right.
But the closer we get to that, we're seeing that it's becoming more and more difficult, because this terrible thing keeps happening every day. We keep selling jeans.
I know. I mean, this is so crazy, guys. I know this has happened to you. So I'm down here processing orders. And I got them all done from the ones that sold overnight. And I think I went to the bathroom for just a few moments, came back, and an item had already sold. Another item. And I'm like, well, I might as well go upstairs and get it and get it out. I go upstairs, get out, come back down, and another item sold. I kid you not. And I'm like, at some point, you got to cut it off and say, all right, I'm not going to, not that I'm selling orders every 5 minutes, but I'm just saying that you start running into those sorts of issues. You know, it's like, well, I'm going to do this task to the task in this time frame. And even if something else comes up, this is going to be it for now, right?
Yeah. And I'm often the voice of that cutoff. I'm like, okay, got to go to the post office now.
Yeah, she'll say, all right, stop. You got to stop. You can't process anymore. And I'm like, yeah, but they just bought them, and you know, it'll be cool to get it out today, and they'll be happy, and you know, all that good stuff. So
yeah, Twisted Picker, you're absolutely right. It is a good problem to have, and we're kind of joking about, you know, we're not really complaining that we're selling jeans, but when you have a goal, and I'm very goal oriented, it just sort of, as our listings rise, then they go down again. So we've got to make double time here to get where we want to be.
All right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to share some results from yesterday with you, and I think you're gonna. Are you gonna go do something in a second?
Well, I'm gonna
you're gonna get those jeans in a second. All right. Hang on. Let me get this up, and I'll.
Oh, are we still on there?
Yeah, because it takes a minute to share. Let me go to. All right. So I'm going to hold on. It's not okay.
Oh, okay.
It's so funny.
Jazz hands.
What does jazz hands even mean? Is that what people in jazz do?
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the screen share, guys, and it's not. There we go. It was not cooperating. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and you guys can see results from yesterday. All right. And so, yeah, so yesterday was October 21st, day 95 of the challenge. Excuse me. October 20th. I'll get it right here in a minute. Day 24 or day 94 of the challenge. We sold 10 yesterday. We got 34 photos done and 16 listed. Not great numbers. 225 total, which is pretty good. The last couple days has been kind of low because we sold some lower priced items. Basically, that's the reason for that. So, but I want to show you guys something exciting. So yesterday was the 20th, 2/3 of the way through October, basically, and we already beat September's number. You can see right here, we're at 5381, just in jeans, nothing else. And last month we did 5205 total. We've already sold 10 more pair of jeans than we did last month. We've already netted a little bit more money, 2132 on jeans, 40% margin, which is about where we're staying. And I'm telling you guys, in retail, that's a decent margin. Yes, you can get higher margin on, you know, high value flips and so on. I get that, but for a volume item, that's pretty good. That is pretty darn good if you can get 40% before taxes. So yeah, after taxes, it's obviously lower than that, but I've got a lot of deductions as well. So I'm really excited. We already beat last month. You know, the sky's the limit. I'm looking at, we could possibly do around 7,500 this month just in jeans. And, you know, that's a great total, I think. Don't you, Karin? 7,500?
I do. It's by far our best month to date.
I didn't think we would be at 7,500 in October, but it looks like that's possible this month if the next 10 days hold up. And November theoretically could be stronger than that. I mean, November theoretically could be 9,000, which is pretty, you know, going to be some pretty reasonable numbers, some pretty crazy numbers. Let's see. So I'll try to show you the graphs and see if they pop. They take a moment to pop. They won't be much different than yesterday, but we see our listings are still holding around here. Our sell-through, I know some of the other guys are experiencing this, Mike and Mark and so on. Looks like we're around 1.25% sell-through, which is great. I'm very happy with that number. That's how much I wanted to. I wanted to do it. I wanted to be around that number. The amount sold 10 yesterday, so this number has still just been steadily climbing. So great sell there. Need to get the listings up higher and just more, guys. I mean, it's really just like this is the bottleneck. we're talking about the bottleneck. This is the bottleneck right here, is the listings. Not getting enough listings up to support the sell-through, because we're grossing about 260 a day here or so. But if I go back to this one for a moment, let's see. Actually, I'm going to go to this one. So you can see right here, we're selling 6.5 a day, but we're only listing 9.8. So we're only gaining 3.3 pair a day net. So that's what's got to get higher to kind of get these numbers up. I mean, that's still adding 300 pair of jeans a month, but we need to get higher than that. We need to get up around 400 or 500 or 600 and just really start increasing that. So anyway, okay, so I hope that all made sense. I'm going to stop sharing and go back to the camera. And Karin's going to have some show and tell here. Oh, I guess you need to have that up, don't you? So you can see that. All right, so those are the numbers for October so far. Really excited to be at last month's numbers, already 2/3 of the way through the month.
That's
I mean,
pretty exciting.
All right, so you got something to share with us. What do you got there, Karin?
I do, and while you were doing the spreadsheet and I was looking through them, based on my research, I'm not very optimistic.
On what?
On these robins that I got all giddy. I'm going to blame you for rushing me. And I just made an impulsive decision. It's all his fault.
Yeah.
But these are the jeans that we're talking about, the robins, and I'm going to do this wrong. And feel free, I wish Mark was still here, but you can feel free to chime in. Look, I found this. They're kind of muffed up here, like they've been cut, so that would disqualify them.
Yeah,
right there.
It's definitely a little damage right there.
But based on what I've looked up, I would say they're probably not. Where'd the chat go? Can you see if somebody has something to... Haha, the man is always to blame.
It's going to take a moment for people to type, though.
Okay,
so.
All right, cool. But based on what I've looked up, there's no interior stamp that would indicate authenticity on the jean.
Right.
In this case, you probably... I'm going to kind of mess it up, but you can kind of see... Oopsie. Right here. Whoop. I didn't catch that in the store because I was all giddy like a little kid at Christmas, but it's kind of messed up here. The stitch has been ripped out, and it looks like it's just seen better days. As far as symmetry goes, it's close, but I don't know. We'd have to look up this exact style to... So right now, see how it overlaps here and here? I mean, it's consistent on both sides, but is it supposed to do that or not? So here, that touches, and then the tip of the wing touches here. That's awful pretty. I mean, they're a good-looking pair of pants, whoever made them, whether it's Robin.
Someone was saying to check for the pocket for the stamp and what kind of stamp. I will Facebook message you a picture of the stamp. So
all right, cool. Thanks, Twisted.
We'll look. I'll look for that. Thanks, Twisted. I will definitely look for. Just send it on Messenger if you want.
Yeah, because I've seen that sometimes there's a stamp, sometimes there's not. The interior, excuse me, tag has a Made in USA stamp on the tag itself with the size, but based on the various sources that I've looked up, I don't think they're real. I got duped, man.
She got duped. She got taken, bamboozled.
I still think it's your fault.
Well, and here's the thing, guys. And we had a pair of True Religions yesterday.
2 pair.
That we picked up. Did we pull the other one yet? I haven't pulled it.
Yeah, you did because you marked it as a defect.
I pulled both of them?
Well, we had 2 defects from yesterday. I assumed it was the TRs.
No, it wasn't the other TR.
Oh, then we.
But maybe I hadn't come to them yet. We had a pair of TRs yesterday that the back pocket stitching just didn't quite look right. Now, here's the thing. You know, guys, I'm not one of these sellers who thinks that every high-end brand I pick up is fake. There are people like that. Oh, that's fake. Oh, that's fake. I'm like, well, there are more real items out there than there are fakes. But at the same time, I want to protect my seller rating. I want to protect my ability to sell on eBay and Amazon and all these commerce. So when in doubt, guys, throw it out. You know, don't sell it. If you have any doubt about it, don't sell it. Then you don't have to worry about it. I mean, what are we really out here? These were less than $4. Mm-hmm. Is it really worth, you know, taking the risk? And it's probably not. So some other questions came in that the stamp is on the back side of the inner left pocket.
Yeah.
So
there is no stamp on this pocket.
The back side, though, probably inside. Yeah. Yeah, there's no stamp at all on that pocket. I don't believe. There's no stamp on either one.
Mm-mm.
And that would be the kind of detail that a counterfeiter would miss sometimes. The stamp is a pair of wings and the word security control number and then a unique number. I thought I saw a pair of wings somewhere
Well,
on
the
this.
pair of wings are here, but there's no number.
Yeah, there's a tag that has the wings and number. You can try to show that. I don't know if it'll show real well.
Yeah, Susanna asked about what it said.
This was you need to be closer than that.
Oh, look, Gen C pays attention.
That's the tag, but that is not on the inside of the pocket. It's just a tag. So, yeah, I don't know if that really is it or not.
And then that's the little one that talks about cut, make, and model.
Yep.
And Jen, you're right. I'm going to look at it that way, that these robins were one of the 10 that we got for free.
Oh, that's great. That's a great point.
Our volume discount jeans here.
Yeah, exactly. So, lesson learned. And next time we get a pair of these, we'll be educated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially her, because she looked a lot of stuff up and you guys are helping out too. And we can look at them a little more closely in the store and make a decision. And if we don't like what we see, we just put them back. Those sorts of issues from time to time. You're going to have those. Yeah, it looks like the chat did kind of freeze. Everybody was talking. Now I don't see it. I'm not really sure why. I'm hoping you guys can still hear us, but I think you can because I still see us moving in the camera. Not sure what's going on with this chat there, guys. I don't really have any control over it. It's YouTube's chat. Blame Google. Oh, there it is. Came back. I never knew that about Robins. Cool. So yeah, and we're learning too, Silent. I mean, honestly, there's just so many jeans brands out there. Fortunately, most jeans brands are not counterfeited. There's just not enough market in it. There's only a few you have to really worry about. This brand, True Religion, Diesel, some 7 fams, I guess, have been. I don't know if Rock Revival really gets knocked off that much, maybe a little bit. But those are really the ones that you have to worry about.
Scott loves cheese. Great test statement, by the way. It looks like it went away and now we're back.
Thanks, cheese. See what I did there?
Oh,
thanks, bananas.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming back. And I actually still see it playing fine on the YouTube feed. So just it hasn't been playing here because we didn't have it going. Yeah, Swamp asked about, he was talking about RMC. Yeah. Swamp, here's the thing. And I saw your picture, by the way, Glenn, that you sent me. And to me, that looks pretty legit. I mean, just on face value. But with that RMC brand, I have a funny feeling that it was the company that said that. I was telling Glenn that was my one and only Vero complaint I've gotten on eBay was for a pair of RMC jeans. And I feel like it was probably the company. Just doesn't like people selling their jeans cheaper. And I can't prove that, but I just decided not to deal with it. I could probably sell, and I still see them on there. And I could probably sell them now and have no problem. But this was earlier on when I didn't have as many feedback, and I didn't want to screw up my seller rating, so it just wasn't worth it to me to really push the issue. Susanna asked, are the front pockets not workable?
Yeah, the front pockets are totally still pockets. So am I in it? Yeah, so there's my hand in the pocket. That one works. And then on this side, there's kind of a little half pocket, and then again with another pocket. And the back ones are really pretty. Get all messed up. I can't see it. Like there's the tag. Because it's white, it's shown a little wear.
Go that way with them.
That way. Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
And then there's the back pocket.
Yeah. So is there another platform you can move them on to not risk your eBay account? There are plenty of folks who don't care if they may be fake. Yeah, you can sell them locally. Craigslist, OfferUp, garage sale, whatever. You can just sell them locally. I mean, you don't have any issue there. I'd be careful about putting them on another website, especially if you know they're fake. That's technically against the law. So, granted, probably nothing's ever going to happen to you, but you don't want to go down that road. You don't want to sell something that's knowingly counterfeit. That's against the FTC can get involved in that and so on. Even Homeland Security can get involved in that, strangely enough. Mike says RMC will have you take your listings down if they're counterfeit. Whatever, Mike. I don't think they were counterfeit. I think RMC was full of it.
It's a conspiracy.
You know why I don't think they were counterfeit, Mike? Because my picture sucked so bad back then. I don't know how they could have even told they were counterfeit. But anyway, Carner, they're not any apple bottoms for sale on eBay that in your size. You can probably get them cheap.
That's not the point.
I knew you were going to say that.
It has to be in the moment.
She's got to find them there, and then she can sing, and I'll take a video, and it'll be great.
Exactly. I even took a little video. I snuck it into the last trip that we were on. The ones that I ended up buying, I sang it really quietly, though.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's not always the case. Like, I have no problem just belting it out no matter where we are. And you know what? Sometimes I get people to sing along, so there. Hey, so could this be a good segue for explaining the fun factor?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so when we made that video on that last trip, I'm always the goofy one, I guess, and I made reference to F-U-N, fun, when we just got started, and there's a reason for that. And you know, as we're growing this business and growing our life together, fun is an important factor, and I'm going to tell you why. I think one of the biggest criticisms of social media is that people only put out into the universe the good stuff, the happy stuff, the look how successful I am stuff. And when you are an entrepreneur and when you are self-employed, it's not always rainbows and unicorns. You typically work twice as much as other people when you're doing this full-time. Even I would argue part-timers, you're working a regular full-time job and you're putting this on top of it, and then on top of family and everything else that you do. One of the things I admire most about Prof, Jason's approach here on YouTube, is that it's always been open and honest. He's got a great level of transparency. You know, when he first started this 5,000 gene challenge, I think it's really cool that you have that spreadsheet and you're showing people as you go, because I think it really lends legitimacy to everything that you're doing. And I think that's really cool. I think people need to see and they need to know that you can do this and you can do well at it, but make no mistake, you're going to have to work at it. So the whole fun factor, it is another one of our inside jokes now, but the trip we went on right before that was a grind. And I knew that day was coming when we would go out and we would source, and we would end the day tired and spent, and it would be a grind and it wouldn't be much fun. But I hated it so much so that I wondered if I would ever do it again. And we had that very serious conversation.
Yeah.
And, you know, all the joking stuff aside, you know, you said it earlier, we're more partners. I think I was probably behaving more like an employee at the time. But morale is important no matter what, whether it's your boyfriend, girlfriend, buddies, spouses, friends, whatever. I think you constantly have to build each other up. And it can't always be, you know, come on, we got to get going.
Right.
We've been here 20 minutes.
Right.
And one of the things that I'm doing behind the scenes is I'm comparing that trip to this next one. I'm about done taking pictures on that South Carolina trip. And one of the things I noticed is that our defect number, which, what did we decide? It's about
3.4. No,
that's the returns. Our defects are really low. I'll use girly talk there.
I don't have the total from.
Yeah, but they're really low, right? So on that trip, they were even lower. And, you know, Jason's approach is he'll go through really quick. His hands are bigger. That's my theory. He can just go blah, blah, blah. I spend more time in the store because to me, there's more value in not even buying them in the first place. So that trip, not as many defects. I'm going to be curious to see on this one, because we were very time conscious on this Raleigh-Durham trip. And we didn't spend more. I think we were in a store 45 minutes, maybe once. Right. And everybody else was 20 or 30 minutes. So the difference between the South Carolina trip and the Raleigh-Durham trip was that we, by my suggestion, never took each other too seriously during the day. I think a thing to keep you happy also, no offense, is that he gets hangry. So that whole Snickers commercial was based on Jason. So we bring snacks with us too, so that we're not ever, you know, hungry and grumpy and tired and all those things all at the same time. Maybe one at a time, but definitely not all at the time. So in joking about having fun, we have to make a conscious effort to be nicer and funner. And I can tell you, for me, it made a big difference because we are from Mars and Venus. And whether we're just men and women or we're different people, you're always going to run into that. So I think another layer to this is that we have to remain conscious of how the other person, how we interact with each other, right? And we don't ever want to take each other so seriously where this becomes totally not fun. Because I'll tell you, I'll check out immediately if it's not somewhat enjoyable. We look at it, our approach is different. For me, I still find great satisfaction in the thrill of the hunt. You know, look at me, like going all goo-goo over some robins, albeit, you know, not real ones.
Fake robins.
But that's fine. You know, I got all those Miss Me's in a row.
Right.
You know, we love Miss Me jeans, and I happened to find, I found 7, but only 5 of them worked out. And then you found like 2 or 3 more, same store. And I don't think we've ever had a boom like that.
I never found 7 in one store.
So I just, whenever we say something, I always like to come back to it. I don't like to, hint at, well, we're going to talk about this, and then we never follow up and we never talk about it. So with regard to the fun factor, thank you for giving me this platform to explain it, but it's important. And if you ever, I just left a job that I absolutely hated. It was a dreadful place, a terrible place. I sat behind a desk all day, and among other things, it was just not a healthy place to be. And so working for yourself, it needs to be what you want it to be. Make it what you want it to be.
Yeah.
And fun is important. So that's my role. I'm comic relief. All right, I'm done. I'm done.
That was awesome. That was really good. I didn't know where she's going to go with any of that, honestly. I said, hey, I want a few minutes. I was like, all right.
And I didn't tell him. I didn't want to totally set him up in case I blindsided him. But and feel free to ever call us out on it if we ever hint at something or we're going to talk about something and we don't. I'm a big one for follow-up. Yes. So by all means, just let us know and we will revisit.
So next week, Karin's going to be gone. And so hopefully I will try not to be too mopey on the shows.
Yeah.
But there might be a little mope that goes on at some point.
Yvonne, Susanna, ladies, I think Yvonne is still in the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, look after them because we kind of have this period of separation where you get a little mopey, and we got a job to do here. We got 300 pair of jeans in the next room that need to be listed.
Ain't nobody got time for moping?
No time for moping.
All right, guys. Well, listen, awesome show today. Thank you for so many questions. I mean, the chat room was just going nuts. I couldn't actually keep up with it at one point. We had about 60 people at one point, I think, which is right at about a record for these shows. So if you don't mind, before you leave, hit that like button, smash it.
Smash it.
And lets us know we're doing a good job. And of course, if you're watching this later, leave a video or leave a comment so we can try to answer it or respond to it. We try to do that with each and every one, although it's getting tougher now. The channel is growing. We're almost at 2,000 guys, which is amazing. Because we were just at 1,000 in the middle of July, so there's definitely a lot of growth here. But I think that just shows the community is alive and thriving, and there's something special about the people who come to this channel, and I really appreciate that. So I don't take it for granted.
And that's why we're here. We wanna learn. We wanna teach. We wanna. I'm not a big fan of the thumbs down option on YouTube, and every now and then I'll have a rant about that. But this is a positive place. It's a supportive place.
Right.
And I've been most impressed with just about everybody that tunes in. And
Me too. Awesome group of people. So kudos to you guys, because that's all on you. You guys make it what it is. If it was just me sitting here talking and no one interacting, it wouldn't be very interesting. So it's really about you guys more than anything. So thank you for that. I do appreciate it. I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome weekend. Run a sale, do something different, list some of that death pile you've been putting off.
Oh, the death pile. You had some good comments about that.
Yes, check your pricing. And, people are in a buying mode, guys. There's only a few more weekends till Christmas, and they are ready to shop. And they're ready to shop on eBay or Amazon just like they are in a store. So take advantage of it. Don't let excuses be a crutch. That's all they are, crutches for just poor results, and there's no reason for them. Just take ownership of your business and do something different. Make it better, and I'm sure you will. I have faith in you, and you just got to have faith in yourself. So I think that's going to do it for today, though, guys. Thank you again. I will try to touch base with you this weekend and give you an update as Karin leaves.
On Sunday.
Leaves on Sunday. And I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, too. Lots of great sales, and you're lots of fun, and you're safe as always.
I'm trying to convince Prof to do a Halloween show and dress up with me. Tell him it's a great idea.
So if you want to see that, and I don't know why you would, leave a comment and say, yeah, I want to see you in, the Britney Spears costume, Prof. No, that's not happening, by the way. But
did you just say Britney Spears?
That was literally the first thing that came to my mind. Which that probably says something completely different. I may need to see professional help.
Had this not been live, I would have said we could have edited that out. But now it's
too late.
There forever.
Too late. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for now. So I am Prof.
Gypsy and Earl in the back, and I'm Karin saying, good sales to you.